Hello friends, nice to see you all back. In our previous videos on Fourier transform, we have focused on the definitions of Fourier transform, inverse Fourier transform, and properties of Fourier transforms by elaborately proving each one of them. It's now time to apply the definitions and properties in problems. So this video is now focused on solving the first type of problems. I would call it type 1 problems, wherein I would be solving problems making use of the definition alone. So using the definition of Fourier transform, I would like to solve certain problems. You may think it's very simple. Yes, of course, because we are only going to use the formula of a definition of Fourier transform and then apply it, integrate, get the answer. But then I would like to divide it into two cases. Now, I would like to divide these type 1 problems of finding out the Fourier transform into two cases, wherein the first case is what I would like to focus on those type of functions which are defined in an interval, say a to b. Say, for example, I can be given f of x is equal to, say, x square or x in the interval 0 to 1, or I may be given a function of the form, say, e to the power x in the interval a to b and 0 otherwise. So it is the interval where the function is defined in some interval like a to b, so that a to b could be any number. The other case is where I would like to discuss about finding Fourier transform of those functions where the interval given to us are something like mod x less than or equal to a and 0 otherwise. Meaning this mod x less than or equal to a means my x varies from minus a to plus a. So if you look at the difference between the two cases, here the interval is lying between a and b, whereas that is both are positive, whereas here when you say one is negative, the other is positive, so the interval is lying between minus a to a. Of course, these case 2 problems can also be done applying the direct definition, but since I have a negative value, I would like to use the property of definite integrals. As we are all aware that integral minus a to a f of x dx is now defined as 2 times 0 to a f of x dx if the function is an even function. So if f of x is an even function, we know it can be written as 2 times, and it is 0 if f of x is odd. So when the interval given defined in the function is given from minus a to a, I would like to redo the problem. Instead of using the direct definition directly, I would like to use this property and simplify it. I feel that comparatively the simplification would be easier, and thereby using it further to find the inverse transform would be much easier in cases of the method that I would be applying to solve case 2. But both are cases to find the Fourier transform. I am having a different approach, not the direct substitution in case 2. So I would like to focus on case 1 in this particular video, wherein we'll do one or two problems, and then let us go to case 2 in my next video. So I shall begin by solving some simple problems of case 1, where it is a direct application of the definition. So let me take the first problem of finding out the complex Fourier transform of the function. So find Fourier transform of f of x, where f of x is given to be e to the power ikx. So I take it as e power ikx in the interval a less than x less than b, 0 otherwise. What I mean by otherwise is in all other intervals other than a to b. So let's see how to solve it. It is our usual substitution. So I start by the definition. It's always better to write the definition in detail and then perform the substitution. So it is minus infinity to infinity f of x e to the power isx dx. Now if you note that we have in the number line minus infinity to infinity, So we have a and b somewhere in between. And between a and b, we are given the function e power ikx. So otherwise meaning minus infinity to a and b to infinity. That's what otherwise means. So here it is 0, here it is 0. So that gives me a hint that the integral minus infinity to infinity is to be split into three integrals. So I will take up the right side this way. 1 by root 2 pi. I open up a bracket. So the first integral is minus infinity to a. The function that is defined there is 0. So it will be here 0 into e to the power isx dx. The second integral is from a to b. So I have the function defined there as e to the power ikx, as you can see here. So it is e power ikx multiplied by the kernel e power isx dx. And the third integral that you see is from b to infinity, and you have seen that the function defined there is 0. So it is 0 into e power isx dx. So we have now completed the split of the integrals, and as you can see that the first and the third integral do not contribute anything as the integrand is 0. So I carry forward only 1 by root 2 pi. And now that the second integral has two exponential terms, I can add the powers. So it's I into k plus s into x dx. So it is of the form integral e power ax. So because here, for those who are not familiar with basic integration formulae, let me write it here. So what is e power integral e power ax dx? It's e power ax divided by a. Here, what is that capital A? The capital A is I into k plus s. So therefore, when I substitute that formula here, I get 1 by root 2 pi into, which is a constant as it is outside, write e power ax, which is that term, divided by a. And what is that a here? I into k plus s. The limits now vary from a to b. So I need to substitute the upper limit first minus times the substitution of the lower limit. Before I do that, I would like to take out the constant because we are not making any substitution in the constant in the denominator. It is only in place of this x that I am going to make a change, and therefore I have the upper limit, which is I into k plus s into b, minus times substitute x as a. So it's e power I into k plus s into a. Now, keeping this I, the actual answer can be still simplified because we know that 1 by I is equal to minus I, and I could rewrite this as therefore minus I divided by root 2 pi into k plus s into the bracket which is kept as it is. So e power I into k plus s into b minus e power I into k plus s into a. Now, as we know, the answer or the solution is the maximum simplified form, and therefore we could take the minus sign inside and declare the answer that the Fourier transform of the given function is I divided by root 2 pi into k plus s. The minus sign goes inside, so therefore I have the a term first and then the b term, and further simplification not being possible, we stop it here and say this is the final Fourier transform of the given function. So we have done just the substitution of the function in the formula or in the definition of Fourier transform. That's why I said case 1 is the direct application of the definition. So I've just taken up the definition, and if you note the limits, they are from a to b. So no big change, and I've simplified the integral as the sum of three integrals, applied the basic integration formulae, did the maximum simplification. Let's do one more just to complete the case 1 thoroughly. Let me find out the complex Fourier transform of f of x, where f of x is given to be x in the interval 0 to 1, 0 otherwise. So I'm sure you can also attempt doing problem with me. That would be easier. Let's start off by writing down the definition. So let me take up the Fourier transform of f of x, and that gives me 1 by root 2 pi integral minus to plus infinity f of x e power isx dx, Let us again draw the particular number line and see where 0 to 1 is. So we have 0 and 1 here. Between 0 and 1 we have x. Between minus infinity 0 is 0. Between 1 infinity it is 0. Thereby what are we doing? We can now divide the integral minus infinity to infinity into sum of three integrals, like how we did in the last problem. Again we have 0 here, so it is 0 into e power isx dx, and between 0 and 1 you see that the function is x, so it is x e power isx dx. And again the last integral that you have is 1 to infinity, it is 0 into e power isx dx. You see that? So now, of course, first and the last again is becoming 0. It's not always so, but in these problems it happens to be zeros. Now we have only one integral to evaluate, and that is minus 1 by root 2 pi integral 0 to 1 x e power isx dx. So you have a product to integrate, unlike in the previous case where you had an exponential term. So those who've seen my earlier videos know that Bernoulli rule application is how I write this way, where I choose u to be x. I subsequently differentiate until I get 0. Here the second derivative is 0. Then I perform subsequent integrals of e power isx. So I write e power isx by is, and again one more time. So I write e power isx divided by I square s square, but I square is minus 1, so I write that as minus e to the power isx divided by s square. So we have completed now. Now what we do is we connect u and v1 with a positive sign, we connect u dash v2 with a negative sign, and then write the final answer before we complete the substitution. So thereby what happens to this? It is 1 by root 2 pi. I open up a bracket. Now look at the first term, u and v1 you are multiplying. So that becomes x times, I open up the bracket, x e power isx divided by is, that is with a plus sign. Then I have a minus. You see I have a minus here. I have a minus here. Now I am combining the terms of u dash v2. I have 2 minus, so it becomes a plus e to the power isx divided by s square. So I have completed. Now I have to substitute the limits 0 to 1. So let me substitute the upper limit first. I am replacing x by 1. So what happens when I do that? I am getting 1 into e power is divided by is. Then I am putting x as 1. So plus e power is by s square. Lower limit gives me a substitution as minus. I am putting x as 0. So when I put x as 0, the first term is 0. Second term is e power 0, which is 1. So it is 1 by s square with a negative sign, because e to the power 0 is equal to 1. Now I can leave the answer as it is, or as I said, we don't want I in the denominator. We could also take an LCM as a square. So let me write the answer of Fourier transform of f of x can be now written as 1 by s square into root 2 pi. I have taken out s square as the LCM. So if you see what happens, I would write this term first. So it will be e power is. Then I will write this term 1 by I, as you all know, as I told a few minutes back, it is minus I. So this will become minus I. And since we are taking the LCM as a square and we have only s here, it is s into is into e power is. And then you have minus 1, that is this term is coming here. So therefore, we will declare the answer to be e power is minus is e power is minus 1 divided by s square into root 2 pi. We can't do any more simplifications. So let's stop it with this. So in this manner, when both these kind of functions had the limits from 0 to 1 or from a to b, and you did not have any negative limits, not of the form minus a to a, I called those type of problems to be attempted directly using definition, and I called it case 1. Now next video that I will be doing is on those type of functions where the interval that will be chosen is of the form -1, 1, minus a, or something of the form -2 plus, so that this property of definite integrals can be applied and we can use the result further in inversion formulae too. So I adopt a different procedure, not the direct substitution as we did in this particular video. So please watch my next video and you can give me your comments as to whether you find it useful to proceed further. Thank you. Let's meet in my next video.